You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hello, and welcome to episode 251 of the Soul Forge podcast.
Welcome to the Soul Forge, a place of silent mystery, quiet contemplation, and outright mayhem. Join your host, Sean Vanderloo, as he guides you through the adventures of living. Together, we'll talk about life and love, sex and dating, joy and heartache, memories and loss, and so much more. Don't worry, it's not nearly as pretentious as it sounds. Get ready for life, the universe, and everything on the Soul Forge.
Hey gang, welcome back to the show. I'm Sean, and this is the Soul Forge, and we have a very entertaining episode for you today. Well, again, I guess, because what happened was I was earlier today delivering the mail, and I was deciding that I was going to do one of my famous walk and talk episodes because it has been many, many months since I delivered the mail and walked and talked to all of you out there in podcast land. And lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, I'm using my new earbuds that I got for my birthday in September, and they're not wired, they're Bluetooth, Airpods or whatever they're called from Apple. They pair with my iPhone, and they work great for phone calls and all that good stuff, listening to podcasts and you name it. Well, it turns out it's not so good for recording a podcast, because I recorded about, 15 minutes or so of an episode for you, and it was the most amazing episode ever. And you can't hear it because it's mostly walking sounds, because I guess the microphone is so sensitive, it picks up all the I don't even know what you call it. The mailbag rubbing on my pants, and all the mail in the bag just sloshing around, or whatever you call it. All the walking sounds. You could barely hear my voice. So the best episode that was ever created in all of history is lost due to staticky sound. So I'm going to do my best to, I guess, not rehash it. I just come up with something for you out there to listen to. So what was I talking about on that episode? Well, I was saying it was Wednesday, and the mail was super heavy, but the temperature was fantastic, about 14 degrees Celsius and overcast with a breeze, which is my favorite weather for delivering mail. If I have to work, I might as well do it in a comfortable temperature. It was so nice I didn't even have to wear my hat. So do I have a sunburn on my head from the UV rays coming through the clouds? I hope not, because that would hurt. But it was comfortable. I wore my pants. I could have wore shorts, but it was a little bit chilly. I brought a windbreaker, but I didn't have to wear it. I could have at the beginning, but I was so loaded down with Canadian Tire flyers and other mail that I just couldn't do it. In fact, there was so many flyers in some areas, I was delivering 6 sets to people, because we've just been bombarded with flyer after flyer. So that was fun. Lots of dogs were out. Some were friendly, some were not. Lots of parcels to deliver. Lots of Elections Canada or Elections Ontario flyers to deliver as well, because I guess next week is the big Ontario election, and the political parties are just slamming out the flyers because, well, they want you to vote for them. So great, here you go. Anyway. What else did I mention in that episode that you won't be able to hear? Talked about the temperature, talked about the mail, talked about my weekend of camping, because this past weekend, it was the long weekend, so we had Monday off. Curtis and I went camping on the Friday night, and Saturday his 2 buddies, Steve and Lucas, showed up, and so we stayed until Monday morning. But it was so cold, super cold, and windy the entire time, except for finally Sunday evening, about an hour or two before bed. It finally broke. What did we do? Well, Curtis and I got there Friday night after the huge rainstorm on Friday afternoon. We waited for a break in the weather, and then we drove the hour and 45 minutes out to the campsite, and lo and behold, it was fairly dry, so that was nice, and it wasn't raining, but it was windy, and all the wood from the campsite was wet, and we didn't really have anything to light a fire with, so we had brought out a pizza, so we burned the pizza box and a few other random pieces of cardboard that we had, so that was our fire, and then we was like, let's just go to bed. So that was the first night, and then Steve and Lucas showed up on, I guess, around 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon, and they brought all kinds of wood, so we had lots of good wood to burn, but it was still crazy windy, not more than maybe 10 degrees Celsius. For the most part, it wasn't even that much. But we did have fun. We went hiking through the trails, and we found some other campsites, and we walked along the beach, tried to make a fence of sorts out of driftwood to block the wind coming off the lake so we could have a warm fire. But nobody wanted to help me, so I did it by myself, and those big pieces of log are heavy, so I couldn't really get a good thing going. But I tried, and everybody else was just lazy. So yeah, lots of drinking was occurring. I got to use my new tent, and it worked great. My new sleeping bag was awesome. I got a little camp stove as well. You just put a 1-pound propane tank on it, and it's a single burner thing, and that worked pretty neat as well. No major issues with anything. I think I brought enough food, had warm enough clothes. Everything was pretty darn good, except for the wind. Could have done without that. But you know what you can't do without? This promo for another podcast right here on the ESO Network.
This Labor Day weekend, fandom is calling. Let Michael, Mike, Darren, and Jen help you answer the call with the latest news, notes, tips, and tricks on the DragonCon Report. Available as an audio podcast, visit DragonConReport.com, and for the first time ever, watch us on video via Facebook Live and YouTube. We want to help you celebrate your fandom in all the best ways. So listen up, and we'll see you at the con.
And how was that? Wasn't that a great promo? Don't you want to go check out that podcast? I'll bet you do. Yeah. So, am I going to go camping again during the May long weekend? Is it the May 2-4? Is it the May run? Do you call it something else? Whatever you call it. Will I be doing that again for camping? I'm not so sure because, Curtis and his buddies have been going for like 20 odd years, and he's asked me quite a bit over the years as well, but I've never been in town. And as you all know, 7 weeks ago or so, I moved back to Sault Ste. Marie from Timmins, and I was available this weekend, so I could go camping with him. Much like I went hiking back in, I think it was 2015. He'd been asking me for 10 or 15 years to go, and I booked the time off, and off we went for an ill-fated hiking trip. Anyway, that's another story. But the main thing is, I did do it. I'd rather go camping in July or August when it's warm. The good thing was no bugs, absolutely zero mosquitoes, and nothing really to bother us. We saw bear poop, we saw deer poop, and did you know that deer poop looks like chocolate grapes? It does. I'd never seen deer poop before, but there was a whole pile of it all along the trail, and I'm like, what is that? And Curtis is like, that's deer poop. I'm like, I've never seen it before. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, wow, looks like chocolate grapes. I'm not going to try it, though. I didn't eat it. I did have a lot of chocolate, though. I think chocolate is a camping essential. So that was good. What else is happening? Settling into my job here in the Sioux pretty well. Do I like the route? No, not as much as I like the one in Timmins. Lots of flyers here, not so much back there, but things to get used to. Is it good to be back here? I think it is. It feels good. I feel more relaxed. Maybe that's the pills I've been taking for the depression that I had or have or whatever it is. But I'm on an even keel. I guess that's the word. I feel good. I'm glad I'm here. I'm settling in nicely. No major issues. No major complaints. Yeah, it's just really good stuff. the fair is in town. So I haven't been to the fair in a long time. I might go before it disappears after this weekend. I'm not sure. Yard sailing has been picking up steam as well. I went a few weeks ago and got some lots of good stuff. Probably go again this weekend. Who knows? You all know that I have an Etsy store called Rusted Robot Toys where I sell my collectibles and pop vinyls and all kinds of things. Well, I got an order yesterday and I got another one today. There hadn't been an order for several weeks actually, so it's picked up again. Got some nice feedback today as well, a nice positive 5-star review from some Ninja Turtle stuff that I sold a lady for her grandson. It's always nice to get a 5-star review, much like it's nice to get a 5-star review on the podcast. So if you're enjoying the podcast, just go to your podcatcher, the app that you use to listen, and leave SoulForge a 5-star review. That would be fantastically awesome. I'd appreciate it. So check out Rusted Robot Toys on Etsy. Leave a 5-star review for the podcast. Oh, have you gone to TikTok and looked up SoulForge Podcast? I'm doing all kinds of fun, crazy videos over there. Mostly I'm amusing myself, but some people seem to like it. And if you haven't been on TikTok before, now's your chance, because that's something I thought I'd never say, actually. I thought it was ridiculous, and it probably is. It's a huge time suck, but I'm having a good time. I'm having a blast, and that's what it's really all about, living your life and having fun. And I guess that's really about it. Maybe this is a shorter episode this week. I'm not really sure. But that's okay. Sometimes they're shorter. Sometimes they're longer. If you have topic suggestions, soulforgepodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Oh, another thing that I keep forgetting to mention is the coffee account. If you'd like to support the podcast's hosting fees or whatever, you can make a donation to help me out. It's coffee.com/rustedsoul, but coffee isn't spelled the regular way. It's ko-fi.com/rustedsoul. Rusted Soul's my handle over there. Donations start at a minimum of $3, and you can donate as much or as often or as little as you want. And if you'd like to help support the show and the hosting fees and all that good stuff, it would be highly appreciated. And if you don't, that's okay too. I'm just glad you're here listening and sharing the podcast episode links with all your friends, and yeah, just all the positivity on all the good stuff. Hope you're all doing well out there in podcast land. And this has been episode 251. We are closer to episode 500 than we are to episode 1 now, so that's pretty cool. So once again, thanks for coming by and checking us out, and we'll talk to you again next week. But until then, take care, and remember, sometimes the best thing you can do is not think, not wonder, not imagine, not obsess. Just breathe and have faith that everything will work out for the best. Thank you for listening to another episode of the SoulForge Podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit soulforgepodcast.com for all of our social media links. And don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The SoulForge Podcast is your best source for living your best life.
Think about it.
Hello. This is episode 201. Welcome to the second episode of the SoulForge Podcast. I'm your host, Sean. And what I've got for you today is another one of my favorite walking talks. I live in Illinois. I've been iPod speaker headphone combination thingy, so it's really pretty well. And overcast, it's perfectly nailed in. What am I working with? I wore shorts, but it was silly. The jacket.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.